Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Put.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
Good morning, Earthlings. Welcome back to First Contact Radio. How you doing today? Made it to the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. It's the 24th of February, 2016 on the Gregorian calendar. Our sun sign is in Pisces. Our moon sign is currently in Virgo, but it's going to be making a transition later today. 8:22 in about 20 minutes from now, it's going to go void, of course, which means that it hits the last aspect. Let me go over here. So the moon phase is right over here. So it's gone through the last aspect or phase of Virgo, and it goes void, of course, until it gets into the next sign here, which will be this evening. And that's at 4:41 p.m. Pacific time. So let's give a little refresher on what we've got going on here. This is our Earth sign, Virgo, the Hermit, holding the lantern high for others to see. We're going to be leaving an Earth sign, and this is on the unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind is our desires, our unconscious desires, the things we're looking to do, to attain. And this is desires that keep going every 2.5 days. Our moon sign changes. So the conscious mind stays, but the moon sign keeps going. It's kind of like a clock. You know, the big hand goes one way and then the little hand moves another way. Same thing, okay? Now we're moving from here and we're moving to an air sign. Air sign, tarot card of justice, Libra. This is all about karmic balance. It's about saying and doing, saying the words or taking the actions that are going to balance out things in our lives. Part of the idea is learning to say and do the things that help us, but it's equally as important to make sure we're not saying and doing the things that are going to hurt us. Very important, because oftentimes we can do things that do hurt ourselves, and we incriminate ourselves unnecessarily. So we need to really pay attention to the things that we're doing, the words that we're saying, the actions that we're taking, because they have a very profound effect on our lives and what's going on with them. Just before the moon goes void, of course, we're going to be in this sextile with Mars. Mars brings energy to a situation. Mars is the tarot card of Aries. Aries is known as the god of war. So there could be this warlike energetic there, but Aries is also the wise emperor. So when we apply the ideas of Virgo and Earth with the idea of putting things in order, with the idea of energizing a situation, we have an opportunity to energize what's going here in the earth with our physical world, with our physical body, so on and so forth. Okay? So on and so forth. So we're going to go void, of course, during the middle of the show, just before the middle of the show, and it's going to be that way all the way till this afternoon. The void, of course, is sort of like that period in between that, it's the void. It's the period where there's not completely one aspect of Virgo, but we're not quite there into Libra yet, so we're just sort of in that middle, waiting out our time, biding our time, okay? But then later we've got this justice coming in, which is really wants to help us out. Help us to balance things out. All right? And we could see how everything's grouped together here. There's the moon, the sun. You see their houses opposite each other. They're not quite opposites sign-wise, but they're in different houses here of what they're thinking about. And if you just look at this like a giant clock, it starts to make a little bit more sense. The moon currently is waning. It's 96.6%. Full moon was on the 22nd. New moon will be on the 8th in the afternoon, 5:54 p.m. The Jewish calendar today is 15 Adar. 15 Adar. And the daily thought for today is dissatisfaction. Someone wrote that the rabbi said we should never be satisfied with our past achievements. The rabbi crossed out the word past. Some people tell you that if you're never satisfied with your achievements, you'll drive yourself nuts. Ignore them. Look at whatever you've done and say, if that's good, double is better. Don't let what you've done be the final measure of who you are. Okay? Good thought, good thought. We're at the second day of the wave spell and the theme of the World Bridger. That's a bridge between life and death, understanding that veil between the two. We're at the phase of the hand, which is bringing us the sense of accomplishment. Remember, hands can be used to kill. It can be used to heal. Just depends on what we're going to do. We can use to accomplish. We can use to tear down. The storm is our gathering of energy. That is our guide for today. So that is going to guide how our hand is used, whether it's tearing up or building up or tearing down. Our hidden power is the ability to look at the timelessness of things around us, whereas free will is our like-minded energy, and getting in synchronicity with things around us is our challenge for today. The phrase is I polarize in order to know, stabilizing, healing. I seal the store of accomplishment with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of self-generation. Solar wind currently is 340.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is quiet at the moment. However, it's going to jump up to, looks like a 3 over the next 24 hours. The large coronal hole we could see is kind of passing. It looks like it's spreading out a bit. The one at the bottom seems to have closed down. However, over the course of today and tomorrow is the notification. We're going to feel some of the effects from the solar wind coming off of that. M-class flare possibility is at 5%. X-class is only at 1. Geomagnetic storm activity, mid-latitudes 15%, upper latitudes stable at 25%. So everything is kind of in this holding pattern at the moment. Okay, everything's in a holding pattern. Up in the sky tonight, Sirius blazes. It's highest in the south on the meridian about 8 or 9 p.m. Using binoculars, examine the spot 4 degrees south of Sirius. 4 degrees is somewhat less than the width of a typical binocular field of view. You can see a little patch of gray haze there. That's the open star cluster M41, about 2,200 light years away. Sirius, by comparison, is only 8.6 light years away. Okay, and there you go. That's our cosmic weather. That's what's going on. I'll be right back. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. Today's UFO News Report has 5 stories. Story number 1. Well, yesterday we had an alien, perhaps, in the Pope Mobile. Today we have one just walking down the street. Now, we need to ask ourselves, is this real or is this just a CGI graphic that someone did? Is this a 3D model? I don't know. Let's examine a little bit closer. Disclosed TV released some security cam footage with a thin, short object moving around, having away, and then returning again. This footage is a little rough. For better quality video, click the source link above. I tried to embed the original source above, but for some odd reason it didn't allow me to. The first 6 seconds of the video, you can clearly make out that the object is a half-meter tall, black and white, and walking. Sure, it can be a monkey, but how do you explain it hovering in the air? And panda bears don't fly. Only two possible answers. It's an alien or this was a prank. Okay, so let's just check it out a little bit. And it's very interesting right there. Could also be the Geico lizard. Oh wait, that's just an animation. Never mind. What do you think that is? Is that a prank? Is that something someone just put in there and they doctored a little bit? Could be a bird. You know, it's flying up there. It could be a bird. Looks like it might be. Is it flapping its wings of some sort? It seems to be hovering. That's quite interesting. Not sure what that is. So let me know what you think. You think this is real? Do you think someone's just pulling our leg? In 3D graphics this day and age is pretty good that somebody could inject something like this in here and we'd all be thinking it is one thing when in actuality it's not, and somebody's having a good laugh someplace. Alright, moving on. UFO cloaked in a cloud moves low over New Mexico. So we're told from this article that this allegedly is a large UFO, and if that is, well, that's one very, very large UFO in a very large cloud covering it. The location of this was in New Mexico. This is not Las Vegas, Nevada. It's actually the same name city, but in New Mexico. A weather reporter on Twitter shared some photos of a UFO cloaked in a cloud over New Mexico yesterday. There's only one species I've heard of that acts this cocky, and that's the tall whites. They look just like us when they are children, but they grow taller after 400 years. Only their eye, skin color, and then they walk gives them away. They are known to enter Vegas, Nevada, a city different than this one above, to have some fun. They also like to play mind games with humans to show their superiority. It boosts their ego, and trust me, let them win. I believe this UFO is run by the tall whites, because few alien species have the audacity to fly so low over the ground with such poor cloud cloak over their ship. Interesting. That's definitely a very interesting shape, huh? Alright. I have a little video here. And it's just a news report pretty much showing and talking about what it is. Okay. Onward. UFO encounters in Wales and Manchester. Truth or myth? Alright, there we have something up in the sky. It looks like a V-shaped object. What do you imagine when you hear the word extraterrestrials or UFO? Do you visualize a science fiction novel or an image of a bizarre bluish lights illuminating down the road? Have you thought about going home late at night and have you witnessed a flashing light, wondering what it was, only to realize what you saw was not an alien or extraterrestrial object, but just the lights of a plane? Do you think of Little Green Men, movies, cartoons, or have you just started shaking your head? Despite the arguments regarding UFO's existence, there's still multiple recorded sightings in the UK. Yes, these sightings are reported by credible witnesses. According to MUFON, 23 spotted objects were encountered since January 2015 in Manchester and 25 sightings in Wales. Witnesses described the object as a tall craft, as a large craft with a white dot traveling. Throughout the UK, 476 sightings were reported between January 2015 to the middle of February 2016. The objects range from the triangular-shaped metallic objects to red-green ball hovering at greater speed. After MEN had published the footage which shows the strange craft flying, the figures were revealed. These discussions of the sightings continue, and there have been photo documentation. It's still difficult to know whether or not the unidentified flying objects were identified from the space because such photos are not enough to separate fact from fiction. Extraterrestrial objects have been recorded in America. In fact, 1,177 sightings were reported on the ABC News. Both the believers and the skeptics obtain evidence to support their complaints. Those who believe in UFOs and alien visitations get facts that cannot otherwise be explained. Those who are skeptical offer their explanations and supporting evidence which side is right. Well, for right now, it's up to you to decide. Sometimes it's just a matter of belief. Okay. Minnesota has a history of very bizarre UFO sightings. TV shows like X-Files have explored the possibility of UFOs, and while there have been reported sightings all over the world, some say they continue to land right in Minnesota. The local UFO group said that there's about 100 reported UFO sightings a year in the state, although nearly 90% turn out to be something like a meteor or a plane. The others remain a mystery. Last month, the CIA released a picture of unidentified flying object over Minnesota in 1960 from its so-called X-Files, a group of UFO documents classified in 1978. McNeff said he investigated a claim by a Prior Lake couple who saw the reddish-orange glowing spheres about 6 feet wide hovering over a swamp behind their condo last fall. As it rose up, it emitted 2 other red-orange spheres that were similar. They were 1.5 feet in diameter. These 3 objects flew in formation until they were out of sight. But the most famous UFO sighting in Minnesota was a close encounter between a Marshall County Sheriff's deputy and a beam of light outside the town of Stephen back in 1979. Val Johnson said it came right at him, shattering the windshield and bending the antenna of his patrol car 90 degrees. He woke 29 minutes later with burns around his eyes, and the clock on his dashboard and watch had both stopped for 14 minutes. There was a lot of physical evidence, and it was a law officer, a respected law officer, as McNeff said. It even inspired several scenes in the latest season of Fargo TV show. Whether you believe UFOs are real or not, they seem to be more mainstream than ever. I think the younger generation believes there's other intelligence out there and that this is to be expected, he said. McNeff said he will try to keep investigating UFOs until he gets some answers because he believes that the truth is out there. And one last story. This has to do with China and their search for alien life. It says China might be the first nation to find intelligent alien life. There is a new species race these days, and it doesn't involve the moon. It seems the 3 superpowers of the world are racing to find proof that UFOs exist. Known for their space achievement, NASA and Russia are usually at the forefront of these headlines. However, this time around, China is leading the way, and they just may beat everybody. The Communist government of China was never known for their warm hearts or caring attitude. This was further proven the other day as China kicked out 9,100 villagers to make way for a giant telescope. The purpose of this telescope is to hunt for UFOs. One can imagine those villagers weren't thrilled to find out about that, although considering the strict censorship, they probably have no idea. Continuing on the theme of Chinese secrecy, this UFO hunting telescope does have an ulterior motive. The USA and NASA have been a large part of the Chinese brain drain over the years. Flocks of intelligent men and women have left China for the US with construction of the UFO telescope. China hopes to inspire young minds to stick around. In addition, they believe the telescope will attract some of the finest minds in the world, not just to find UFO evidence, but to study the basic facts of astronomy and cosmology. In addition to the intellectual payoff, they have a chance to beat Russia and NASA. NASA's recent discoveries of gravitational waves caused an uproar in Chinese media. The fact that NASA could be close to a major discovery like this prompted the Chinese to make a quick action. While the rest of the world clamors for alien hunting technology, Russia thinks they may have found some proof Days ago, footage from the International Space Station showed some curious footage. The film, taken from Russia, shows a unique spacecraft floating near the ISS, potentially a piece of debris or some other matter. Nothing is certain. Russia has already had their fair share of alien conspiracy in the past years. Now it's just a race to prove or to disprove it. Okay? So, apparently after it took scientists 100 years to figure out that Einstein was right, apparently China is now concerned that we may figure something else in the next 100 years, so they're going to jump on board. That's our UFO news for today. I'll be back. This is Roswell.
Headline edition, July 8th, 1947.
One day, I was looking to the sky. I saw it. Up above the clouds, it was a silver shiny disc floating high above the ground. Then I saw them waving to me. It was E.T. and his family. Something happened up the street from the ground to the sky that shot the UFOs down. Roswell, he didn't make it home. Roswell, he didn't make it home.
The Army Air Force has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
One day, I was looking to the sky. I saw a UFO shot down. It was a silver shining disc, broken in pieces on the ground. Then I saw them lying there, bodies scattered everywhere. Something happened, a military show, picked up the pieces, and the case was closed. Roswell, he didn't make it home. Roswell, he didn't make it home.
Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio.
One day, as I was looking to the sky, I began to think for myself, what if another ship comes down to take E.T. home? Then it occurred to me, maybe this is Earth's destiny. Something like this won't happen anymore. No more missiles, no more UFOs down. Roswell, he didn't make it home. Roswell, he didn't make it home.
Headline.
All right, poor Eby didn't make it home. You know, oftentimes I've wondered that question. What if they were just on a sightseeing tour? And what if they send a party looking for where their buddy went, or their buddies? And they find out that they came, they landed, they were shot down. They didn't land, they were shot down and then murdered by us down here. Think that might make them angry? Could be, could be. All right, I want to continue on with the Book of Enoch. Book of Enoch. Enoch is a great-grandfather of Noah. Enoch was the one who walked with God. And in this book, which is a book that didn't make it to the Bible for various reasons, one of the names is Enoch's hidden book of angels. It's because of, I believe, the very first chapter. If we go to the very first chapter, just a quick refresher. Chapter number 1 says, in the beginning, In the day of tribulation, when the wicked and the godless are to be removed, I think that's the whole problem right there. That there are many wicked and godless here, and the powers that be, well, those are the wicked and the godless who know that they've got a problem. So let's continue on with chapter 10. Then the Most High and Holy Great One spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and he said to him, Go to Noah, tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching. The whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. And again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is Duodel, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and covered him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire, and heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed, and have taught their sons. And the whole earth had been corrupted through the words that were taught by Azazel, and to him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel said the Lord, Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them once against the other, that they may destroy each other in a battle, for the length of days shall not have, and no request that they or their fathers make shall be granted unto the Father of their behalf, for their hope to live an eternal life, and that each one will live 500 years. And the Lord said to Michael, Go bind Samaziah and his associates, who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanliness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valley of the earth, till the day of their judgment and their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment of the prison, in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations. And destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end. And let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. Then shall all the righteous escape, and they shall live to beget thousands of children, and all the days of their youth and all their old age shall they complete in peace. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees and full of blessings, and all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and shall plant vines on it, and the vines which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olive shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and from all uncleanliness that is wrought upon the earth. Destroy from off of the earth, and all the children of men shall become righteous, and all the nations shall offer adoration, and shall praise me. And all shall worship me, and the earth shall be cleansed from all the defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment. And I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation forever. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in heaven, so as to send down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world, and throughout the generations of men. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden and where he abode. and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of the ages, and lo, the watchers called me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go, declare to the watchers of the heaven who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done as the children of earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. Ye have wrought great destruction on the earth, and ye shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin, and inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity, but mercy and peace shall not yet attain. And Enoch went and said to Azazel, Thou shalt have no peace. A severe sentence is gone forth against thee to put thee in bonds, and thou shalt have toleration, and thou shalt not have toleration nor request granted of thee because of the unrighteousness which thou hast taught, and because of all the works of godlessness and unrighteousness and sin which thou hast shown to men. Then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them, and they brought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. For from thenceforward they could not speak with him, nor lift their eyes up to heaven for shame of their sins for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition and their prayer in regard to their spirits and their deeds individually, and in regard to the request that they should have forgiveness of length of days. And I went off, and I sat down on the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. I read their petition till I fell asleep, and behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me, and I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came bidding me, I tell you it to the sons of heaven, and reprimanded them. And when I awakened, I came unto them, and they were all sitting together, weeping, in Abel Jael, which is between Lebanon and Sincere, with their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions that I had seen in sleep, and I began to speak the words of righteousness, and to reprimand the heavenly watchers. The book of the words of righteousness and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with the tongue of flesh, and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to me to converse therewith, and understand with the heart, as he has created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom. So hath he created me also, and given me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all of the days of eternity, and that judgment has finally passed upon you. Yea, your petition will not be granted unto you. For from henceforth you shall not ascend into heaven unto all eternity, and in bonds of the earth the decree has gone forth to bind you for all of the days of the world, and that previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and ye shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet on your own. And even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the writings which I have written. And the vision was shown to me thus. Behold, in the vision clouds invited me, and amidst summoned me, and the course of the stars and the lightning sped and hastened me, and the winds in the vision caused me to fly, and I lifted me upward, and bore me into heaven. And I went in till I drew nigh to a wall which was built of crystals, and surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire, and drew nigh to the large house which was built of crystals, and the walls of the house were like a tessellated floor made of crystals, and its groundwork was of crystal. Its ceiling was like a path of the stars of the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubim, and their heaven was clear as water. A flaming sword surrounds the walls, and its portals blazed with fire. And I entered that house, and it was hot as fire and cold as ice. There was no delight of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got hold upon me, and I quaked and trembled. I fell upon my face, and I beheld a vision, and lo, there was a second house, greater than the former. And the entire portal stood open before me, and it was built of flame of fire, and in every respect it excelled in splendor and magnificence and extent that I cannot describe to you its splendor and its extent. And its floor was of fire, and above it was lightnings, and the path of the stars, and its ceilings also was flaming fire. And I looked and saw therein a lofty throne. Its appearance was as crystal, and the wheels therein as of shining sun. And there was a vision of cherubim, and from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And the great glory sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter, and could behold his face by reason of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. The flaming fire was round about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around him could draw nigh him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he needed no counselor. And the most holy ones who were nigh to him did not leave by night nor depart from him. And until then I had been prostrate upon my face, trembling. And the Lord called me with his own mouth, and he said to me, Come hither, Enoch, hear my word. And one of the holy ones came to me and waked me. And he made me rise up and approach the door, and I bowed my face downwards. And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Approach hither and hear my voice. And go say to the watchers of heaven who have sent thee to intercede for them, you should intercede for men, and not men for you. Wonderful have ye left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women. Wherefore they have left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like children of earth, and begotten giants and sons. And though ye were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh. And as the children of men have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, and beget children by them, that thus nothing might be wanting to them on earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for you, for as for the spiritual ones of the heaven, in heavens is the dwelling. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits of flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men. And from the holy watchers is their beginning and their primal origin. And they shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born unto the earth, on the earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men, against the women, because they have proceeded from them. Right? This is where I'm going to leave off, because as you can see, right there, chapter 16 here is the last of this first grouping. Okay? Well, let's see, maybe I can jump into the next one. Let's see where we're at here. And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were there like a flaming fire, and when they had wished, they appeared as men, and they brought me to a place of darkness, and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the places of the luminaries, the treasuries of the stars, and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depths, where were a fiery bow and arrows on their quiver, and a fiery sword, and all the lightnings. And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun, And I came to the river of fire, which is the fire that flows like water and discharges itself into the great sea towards the west. I saw the great rivers, and I came to the great river, darkness, and went into the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place where all the waves of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had finished with them the whole creation, and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth, the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretch out their vaults of heaven, and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. And as for those towards the east, one of the colored stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth, and those towards the south of redstone. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth, where the heavens were completed. And I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and the depth. And beyond the abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. And there were no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and a horrible place. And I saw there 7 stars like great luminaries, burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fires, they have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning and their rising, because they did not come forth of their appointed times. And he was wroth with them, and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years. And Uriel said to me, Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they are made an end of. And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the ends of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen. And these are the names of the holy angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over the world and over Tartarus. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. Raguel, who is one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. And Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Seraquel, who is one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. And Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents of the cherubim. Rimiel, one of the holy angels whom God set over those who rise. And I proceeded to where the things were chaotic, and I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it, like a great mountain, and burning with fire. Then I said, For what sin are they bound? And on what account have they been cast in hither? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, and he was chief over them, and he said, Enoch, why dost thou ask, and why art thou eager for the truth? These are the number of the stars of heaven which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and are bound here till 10,000 years, the time entailed by the sins are consummated. And from thence I went to another place which was still more horrible than the former. And I saw a horrible thing. A great fire there was burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I said, how fearful is this place, and how terrible to look upon! Then Uriel answered me, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, why hast thou such fear and affright? I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said unto me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever. And thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great high mountain, and of hard rock. And there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide, and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and how deep and dark to look at! Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein, yea, that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, and till their appointed period, till the great judgment comes upon them. And I saw the spirits of the children of the men who were dead, and their voice went forth in heaven, and made suit. And I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, this spirit, whose is it whose voice goeth forth and maketh suit? And he answered me, saying, this is the spirit which went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew. And he makes him suit against him till his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from amongst the seed of men. And then I asked regarding the hollow places, why as one separated from the other? And he answered me and said unto me, these 3 have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated. And such a division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there as the bright spring of water, as such has been made for the sinners, when they die are buried in the earth, and the judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain till the great day of judgment and punishment and torment for those who curse forever. With those who curse forever, and retribution for their spirits, there he shall bind them forever. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction when they were slain in the days of the sinners. Such has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous but sinners, who were complete in transgression, and of their transgressors. They shall be companions, but their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall I be raised from thence. Then I blessed the Lord of glory, and he said, blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who ruleth forever. And from thence I went to another place to the west, to the ends of the earth, and I saw a burning fire which ran through without resting, and paused not from its course day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, saying, what is it which rests not? Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said unto me, this course of fire which thou hast seen is the fire in the west, which persecutes all the luminaries of the heaven. And from thence I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire which burnt day and night. And I went beyond it, and I saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing each from the other, and the stones thereof were magnified and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of glorious appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, one founded on the other, and 3 towards the south, one upon the other, and deep rough ravines, no one of which is joined with any other. And the 7 mountains was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of a throne. The fragment trees encircled the throne, and amongst them was a tree such as I had never seen, yet smelt, neither was any amongst them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and blossoms and wood thereof not forever, and its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then answered Michael, one of the holy and honored angels who was with me, and was their leader, And he said unto me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of this tree? And why dost thou wish to learn the truth? Then I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, This high mountain which thou hast seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the Holy Great One, the Lord of the glory, the eternal King, will sit when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for the fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all, and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and the holy. Its fruit shall be for food for the elect, and it shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. Then shall they rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the holy place shall they enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones. And they shall live a long life on earth, such as their fathers lived. And in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. Then blessed I the glory, God of glory, the eternal King, who hath prepared such things for the righteous, and hath created them and promised to give them. And I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place, in which there were trees, with branches abiding and blooming, and dismembered trees. And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain I saw east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain, higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine, and it also ran a stream underneath the mountain. And to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of the small elevation, and a ravine, deep and dry. Between them another deep dry ravine was at the extremities of the three mountains, and all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine, yea, I marveled very much. And I said, For what object is this blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees, and this accursed valley between? Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, This accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. Here shall all the accursed be gathered together, who utter with their lips against the Lord unseemly words, and his glory speaks hard, and of his glory speak hard things. Here shall they be gathered together, and here shall they be the place of judgment. In the last days they shall be upon the spectacle of righteous judgment, and in the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the merciful bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King. In the days of judgment over the former, they shall bless him for the mercy in accordance with that which he has assigned to them, their lot. Then I blessed the Lord of glory, and set forth his glory, and lauded him gloriously. And thence I went toward the east, into the midst of the mountain range of the desert. And I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants. And water gushed forth from above, rushing like a copious watercourse which flowed towards the northwest, and it caused clouds and dew to ascend on every side. And thence I went to another place in the desert, and I approached the east of the mountain range. And there I saw aromatic trees, exhaling the fragrance of frankincense and myrrh, and the trees were also similar to the almond tree. And beyond these I went afar to the east, and I saw another place of the valley full of water, and therein there was a tree, the color of, doesn't say, fragrant trees such as the mastic. And on the sides of these valleys I saw fragrant cinnamon, and beyond these I proceeded to the east. And I saw other mountains, and amongst them there were groves of trees, and there flowed forth from them nectar, which is named Sara and Galbum. And beyond these mountains I saw another mountain to the east, and the ends of the earth, whereupon were aloe tree, and all the trees were full of stacte, being like almond trees, and when one burnt it, it smelled sweeter than any fragrant odor. And after these fragrant odors I looked towards the north over the mountains, and I saw 7 mountains full of choice nard and fragrant trees and cinnamon and pepper. And thence I went over to summits of all of these mountains far towards the east of the earth, and passed over the Ethrian Sea, and went far from it, and passed over the angel Zotiel. And I came to the garden of righteousness, and saw beyond those trees many large trees growing there, and of godly fragrance, large, very beautiful and glorious, and the tree of wisdom, whereof they eat and know great wisdom. The tree in the height of the fir, and its leaves are like those of the carob tree, and the fruit is like the clusters of the vine, very beautiful, and the fragrance of the tree penetrates afar. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, how attractive is its look. Then Raphael, the holy angel who was with me, answered me, and said, this is the tree of wisdom, of which thy father old in years, and the aged mother who were before thee have eaten, and they learnt wisdom, and their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they were driven out of the garden. And from thence I went to the ends of the earth, and I saw there great beasts, and each differed from the other. I saw birds also differing in appearance and beauty and voice, and one differing from the other. And to the east of the beast I saw the ends of the earth, wherein the heaven rests, and the portals of the heavens open. And I saw how the stars of the heaven come forth, and I counted the portals out of which they proceed, and wrote down all of their outlists of each individual star by itself, according to their numbers and their names, their courses and their positions, their times and their months, as Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, showed me. He showed me all things to me, and wrote down them for me. Also the names he wrote for me, and their laws and their companies. And from thence I went towards the north, to the ends of the earth, and there I saw a great glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. And here I saw 3 portals of heaven open in the heaven, and through each of them proceeds north winds. When they blow, there is cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. And out of one portal they blow for good, but when they blow through the other 2 portals, it is with violence and affliction on the earth, and they blow with violence. And from thence I went towards the east to the ends of the earth, and saw 3 portals of the heaven open, such as I had seen in the east, the same number of portals and the same number of outlets. And from thence I went to the south, to the ends of the earth, and I saw there 3 open portals of heaven, and thence there came dew, rain, and wind. And from thence I went to the east, to the ends of the heaven, and saw there 3 eastern portals of heaven open, and small portals above them. Through each of these small portals pass the stars of heaven, and run their course to the west on the path which is shown to them. And as often I saw the blessed always the Lord of glory, and I continued to bless the Lord of glory, who has wrought great and glorious wonders, to show his greatness of his work to the angels and to spirits to men, that they might praise his work in all his creation, that they might see the work of his might, and praise the great work of his hands, and bless him forever. Okay, so there you go. That's where I'm going to stop. So I'm going to continue on with some more stuff about Enoch. Tomorrow we're going to get away from this into some other research. I just want you to make note. There were a number of things that we heard through the stories of Enoch. Phrases like the firmness of the earth, how the earth was set firm, the ends of the earth, the corners of the earth. Okay, so we get a description of the earth that is not anything like what we are told it is. He doesn't describe a sphere. We're hearing a description of something that has corners and that has ends and is firm, and it has a firmament or a dome over it. So I wanted to bring this all to your attention and get through what I got to here. Tomorrow we're going to continue on with Enoch, and I'm going to show you some other information that has been drawn out from this and pull it all together for you so you understand a little bit more of where we're all going with this. All right? All right. Any questions? Send me some emails. Whatever you want to do. All right? Okay. Here is a channeled message for today, and this one comes from Archangel Gabriel.
Archangel Gabriel Daily Message tilde Monday, February 22, 2016 by Shelley Young. Many of you fear the judgment of others. This is based on the old conditional love model, and the fear that if you do not please others you will be rejected. Here is what we would like you to remember. You are the expert of your own unique incarnation, and only you can make decisions based on what you are on the planet to learn and experience. As the only expert on you, Others are simply not qualified to judge you as they lack the information and vantage point to see the big picture of what your soul's agenda is this time around. If another was evolved enough to see such details, they would know there is no right or wrong, only experiences, and that all movement is forward movement, regardless of the result. Do you see? Once a person had all the information necessary to judge you, they would never choose that as an option, as they would be operating from a place of acceptance, encouragement, and love. If another is judging, by that very action, it automatically demonstrates their lack of ability to see you in your truth. People will give you advice based on what would be right for them and their own unique path. Thank them for their love and caring, consider what they present, but always make decisions based on your own innate knowingness and wisdom. Forging your own unique path is your sacred mission and always what your soul is seeking to do. Archangel Gabriel.
Okay, very good message from Archangel Gabriel. And that brings us to our meditation for today. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And one more breath. And exhale. Now just imagine that your mind is cleared. Imagine yourself walking into a cave. And you enter this cave, and this cave is like entering yourself. And as you enter the cave, and you see the space around, you think of this as the space inside, and here you find things hidden which were not shown naturally in the outside world, outside of the cave. And as you dig around, you find treasure. And as you light the light of the torches that you have with you, you see more. And so you realize from this analogy that we are like the unexplored caves. And when we take a trip inside ourselves, we find and experience things that we did not know were there. Things hidden in a place where we would not look unless we finally realized that the answers were inside. So we close our eyes and we simply allow ourselves to experience that which is inside. And as we experience that which is inside, we find ourselves connected to all that is. We find ourselves connected to a source of life that flows beyond this dimension of the visible world to dimensions of space and time far beyond, yet as close as a breath away. And we realize that we are connected to a source of divinity, a spirit of invincibility. Heavenly Mother, Father, Divine Autogens Christ, thank you for emanating and flowing forth into our lives. Thank you for opening our eyes that we see the reality of where and who we are, and opening our ears that we hear the truths expressed in the world around us, as well as understanding the lies that are told. We send blessings to you, and we continue to send blessings out into the world as they flow through us, for we know that is the simple process of how all things work, to continually allow the goodness to flow. And as the goodness flows, all thoughts and all acts of unrighteousness are washed away by the waters, and all things are left purified and blessed. So let's just imagine ourselves having just walked out of the shower, all the dirt cleansed off our being, outside and inside, and imagine this light inside shining bright, brighter and brighter, until our entire being is glowing. And then imagine this light of divinity that's flowing through us, shining so bright that it fills the space around us, and then expands outward to fill the room, to fill the neighborhood, to fill the city, the state, the country, across the sea and across the entire earth, until this entire earth, all things thereon and underneath the firmament, are filled with this light. And let's just imagine this light chasing away the darkness, and with that all of the evil and unrighteous and ungodly acts. So let the subconscious mind continue shining light into the world as we move and live this day. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment, filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment, filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment, happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Lots of information. This all ties in together. It's like a puzzle, okay? Remember I said that there's a particular agenda in mind? It's to follow a trail, follow a path, put all this together. So there's a purpose. Tomorrow I'm going to tie together what it is we've learned this week from the Book of Enoch, to see a deeper meaning and how that ties into what we've learned last week, and the connection between the Nag Hammadi library and the discussions of the earth and the shape of the earth. It's all one big puzzle, my friends, and when you put it together, it's pretty amazing to look at and understand. And I know that we all have the ability to understand this. We're all in this together. We just need to think out of the box, so to speak. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Have an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.